Excuse me. Wow. Hello, everybody. Okay, sorry. I just gotta make sure that I can hear the game, and I can, because I don't want to repeat of what happened last time. No, whoa, relax. I don't want to get copyright struck either. Alrighty, yeah, anyways, so, we're back. More Steins Gate. If you haven't already, I made a video on Steins Gate original, like, the 2011 version, and if you want to see that, I linked it, in the description for the stream. It'll be the same as the VOD, or excuse me, the VOD will have it as well, but it's also just, it's the main video on my channel as I'm recording this, so but for people who are watching this in the future, it'll be in the description, so you can watch it there. But yeah, no, it's probably my best video to date, honestly, if I have to say so myself. I put a lot of effort into it, so I'd appreciate it if you did watch it, but if you don't, then of course that's just the nature of being a viewer, you know. You watch things and you don't watch things, and that's perfectly fine. But what's it called? Yeah, I gotta change the thumbnail because it's not doing too well. So I gotta see if I can get people's attention by changing the thumbnail. One of my friends is frying me, talking about like, you know better than to make trash thumbnails. I was like, yes sir. But yeah, no, what's it called? So sorry if I sound a little out of it, or excuse me, a little out of it, or a little monotone. It's because I am out of it, but you know, everybody has their good days and everybody has their bad days, so just gotta try to keep it pushing, right? But yeah, anyways, so that aside, we there you go. We're back on Steins Gate 0. You know, I think we're on chapter 1, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because this is where we were. That's where we were at last time. That's my niece. Wow, terrifying. Like unprompted laughing. Or oh. There you go. Unprompted laughing from children is terrifying when it's like, oh, it's funny when, like, you know, it's a funny video, or oh, it's cute because, you know, it's a child. Like that their laugh is so or not uninhibited, but like unrestrained. It's pure, and then you put it in like a horror setting. It's terrifying, unsettling. So it's just context, you know, context sensitive. But yeah. Anyway, so it's been a bit, so I'll try to give a recap as fast as I can. Games. Wow, excuse me. Wow. Okay, so this game takes place between chapter 11, where Okabe goes back in time to save Makise the first time, and he fails, but he never got a second chance. This is the Okabe that gave Steins Gate 2011 Okabe a second chance. So we know the ending. It's just how do we get there? But yeah, for this, you know, we're in Alpha World line. Okabe gave up, and it's been a couple months. I think it's like November now, because it was in July. It's been 4 months around there, and Okabe attended a seminar, a time travel seminar, because his school was like, oh yeah, like mandatory or whatever. But also he wants to, make connections. And so here he meets Maho and he meets Professor Leskinen and he finds out about Amadeus, which is who we're looking at right now. But you know, in between that as well, we also saw Mayuri, Ferris, and Lukaka. But that's a future thing. So I'll just for now just say like right now we're just seeing Okabe meeting Amadeus for the first time. So that being said, let's continue. I couldn't respond at all. Something felt slightly off about the way Kurisu moved on the screen. But it was really slight. I'd get used to it soon. More importantly, the voice and the way she spoke were exactly like the real Kurisu. I almost cried. It was all I could do to stop from breaking down. The camera on the PC switched from me to Maha. It's so crazy, man. Was she talking about the fact that I didn't respond to her introduction?
ATF セミナーに参加してくれた学生よ。なかなか研究熱心だと思ったから連れてきたの。
Maho decided not to tell Amadeus that I was a friend of Kurisu's before she died. Why, I wonder? Does she not want Amadeus to find out? Oh, was I supposed to tell her myself? The Kurisu on screen turned to me and smiled. Calm down. Calm down. No. The words got stuck in my throat. I said calm down. This is just a program. Her words, her appearance, even the conversations she's having with you right now, they're all artificial. But even though I knew that, I still couldn't speak. I had no idea what to say. And more than that, the words, nice to meet you, hit me harder than I thought they would. This wasn't the Kurisu I'd spent those 2 weeks with. Oh, where? There you go. Stop that. I had a yawn. No, wait. Okay. Anyways, Maho had told me this ahead of time, and I thought I understood it, but hearing it for myself hurt more than I imagined. I regretted not taking my anxiety meds, but it was too late now. Man, anxiety meds. Can't even imagine. My heart rate soared and my breathing became irregular. My head was spinning and the corners of my vision were beginning to dim. At some point, my lips had gone totally dry. Kurisu sounded worried. That voice software must be pretty good. if it can handle nuances like
彼
that.
の専攻は脳科学ではないわ。だけど私たちの研究にとても興味があるんですって。
そうなんですか。
レスキネン教授も気に入ってるみたいだし、いずれは私の助手にでもしてやろうかと思っているところよ。
Nanda. My head snapped up in surprise at Maho's bizarre statement. Me? Maho's assistant? Then I go to Victor Contra University.
あら、お気に召さない？
お気に召すとか召さないとかそういう問題じゃなくて。
ま、冗談だけれどね。
Yeah.
冗談？
You cruel,
も
cruel
しかして本
woman.
気にした？
信じちゃいない。
I was gonna tell her that I almost did.
そう。でも、もっともっと勉強してくれれば、あながち冗談じゃなくなるかもしれないわよ。
仮にそうだとしても、レスキネン教授の助手がいい。
This is my way of getting back at her.
教授の助手って思っている以上に大変よ。あの方は本当に子供だから。
As she spoke, she quietly came over next to me and tapped me on the arm a few times. I see. So that was it. She was making a joke to try and calm me. That's so adorable. Ah, Baho.
悪かった。
Baho, you.
ありがとう。
There you go. Alright. There you go. Backlog. She was making a joke to try and calm me down, which. Yeah, that's adorable. Oh. Wow, sorry if you heard that. I accidentally took a screenshot. Of all things, that's weird. Let me see how they look. Oh, they're not here. It's right here. Show it. Show it. It's right here. Do I have to look on Steam? There you go, recordings and screenshots. Yeah. Delete. Delete. And delete. The more you know. Press F12 and you got a screenshot. Funny. Alrighty.
何のことかしら？
I didn't think subtlety was her thing. Maybe I was wrong.
先輩、ちょっと。
Kurisu beckoned to Maho from within the screen in a very human manner.
何？
もうちょっとこっち。スピーカーに寄ってください。
Maho moved her ear close to the speaker. I was just thinking about how weird it was when Maho suddenly turned bright red and shouted at the screen.
そんなわけないでしょ。何を言ってるのあなた。
そんなに照れなくても。
照れてるわけじゃないわ。とにかくおかしなことを言うのはやめて。
そうですか？
そうです。
一体何の話を？
It was obvious that Kurisu had whispered something to Maho. What did she say? Maho glanced at me. And for some reason she blushed and turned away. Ah, I see. For the way Maho was acting and what I knew about Kurisu, there's only one possibility.
このスイーツかっこ笑い目
I whispered her name I'd often teased Kurisu with and suddenly felt a lot better. She must have said something stupid like, "You two make a good couple," or "You finally found a man, huh?" Oh man.
このスイーツかっこ笑い目
That was vitriol when he said that. Good lord. Alright. Mainstream woman. A pejorative term used to refer to girls who are easily influenced, by trends or who think in ways that men find impossible to understand. However, it is said that only people who use it often are boys who have very little experience with women. This is very true. The way she looked at a boy and girl holding a friendly conversation and immediately assumed they were dating was just like the Kurisu I knew. Sheesh, what a system. It didn't need to be that true to her personality, did it? I chuckled. Do you think this Kurisu also browses that channel when Maho and the professor aren't looking too? Actually, don't remember if she does. Fictional. A huge anonymous message board that's the largest of its kind in Japan. Its catchphrase is everything from hacking to tonight's dinner. And its boards discuss everything from underground topics to normal news. Nah, knowing her, she's probably commenting. I remember Kurisu once browsed that channel on the Future Gotcha Lab's computer when she knew nobody else was around. It's so interesting, man. Hold on, let me see if I can. Not all. There you go. They got rid of it. Yeah, they got rid of it. There's no graph paper on her skin anymore. They got rid of it. That's crazy. Alright, Raffle. Nut slang, short for rolling on the floor laughing. Other variants include LOL, laughing out loud, Raffle Lamau, rolling on the floor laughing my behind off, and Rafflecopter, like Raffle but with a helicopter. Yep. Nut slang. Your soul's power level, huh? The silly remark seemed to have a much deeper meaning now. There was a girl in front of me one day going to, as Dr. Lessner had said, become a real artificial soul. When that happens, what are we supposed to call a soul that still existed in this world after the body was gone? Not dead or alive, but something in between. It wasn't science anymore. It was philosophy, or maybe religion.
バカな話はここまでにしましょう。岡部さんだって こんな中身のないことを聞きたくて来たわけではないわ。
そうやってごまかすところがますます怪しいですね。
ウイルスをぶち込むわよ。
嘘です。
Kurisu quickly bowed her head. I bet back when Kurisu was still alive, she had conversations like this with Maho every day. I'm sure Dr. Luskin had a lot of fun watching them. It was actually kind of cute.
お騒がせしてごめんなさい岡部さん。彼女と何か話してみる？
ああ。
Maho offered me the seat in front of the PC. Kurisu's face is on the monitor right in front of me. When our eyes met, she smiled a little. I didn't know she reacted like this to people when she first met them. But my meeting with Kurisu went about as badly as it possibly could have. I realized that her prickly attitude towards me could have been unusual for her. Ah, Okabe. Good God. This wasn't good. I was remembering every moment I'd ever spent with Kurisu. Couldn't think of what to say. But the words that came out of my mouth were... That was what I once argued about with Kurisu on another world line. In the end, I've lost the argument completely. Yep.
タイムマシーンですか？
何の話を始めるのかと思ったらいきなり何？
ただのテストだよ。思考実験ができるかどうかっていう。
どうクリス？
そうですね。結論から言ってしまうとタイムマシーンは可能ではない。けれど不可能とまでは言い切れないといったところでしょうか。
That wasn't what she said.
最初に結論を言ってしまうとタイムマシーンなんていうのはバカらしい代物だということです。
That's what Kurisu had said in the Alpha World line. I remembered that well.
俺はタイムマシンなんてバカらしい代物だと思うけどな。
I remembered our old debate and decided to repeat what Kurisu had said then.
そうかな。確かに世界中の科学者がタイムトラベル理論を提唱している。主な理論だけで11あるが、どれも仮説の域を出ない。しかも理論同士が矛盾し否定し合っているものまである。例えば宇宙紐理論やワームホール理論。これらは思考実験としてはタイムトラベルを可能にするが、そもそも宇宙紐だのエキゾチック物質だの、どこからどう探してくればいいのか見当もつかない。つまり現実的ではない。
It was also something that Kurisu had told me in the Alpha World line. But the Kurisu on the screen was unmoved.
科学者がまだ重大な何かを発見できていないからでしょうね。
それじゃあ君はタイムマシンをいつか作れると思っているのか？
不可能とまでは言い切れない。そう言いましたよ。
Yeah, her opinion was slightly different. Was this because I was in the Beta World line? Or perhaps...
なあ、ヒアジョーさん。彼女は自分がオリジナルの記憶から派生した存在だということは認識しているんだよな。
もちろん。
じゃあ、うまい例が思いつかないんだが、一卵性ソーセージみたいなことはあるのか？生まれた時は見分けがつかない。だが育つにつれて差異が出てくるとか、そういうこと。
それについてはまだ検証中だけれど、蓄積されていく記憶が異なれば当然元の人間とは違うものになっていくと思うわ。私と教授はそう考えている。
そっか。
It was then that I heard the door on the other side of the partition slam shut.
教授かしら？
あの大きな足音はそうじゃないでしょうか。
I could definitely hear somebody stomping around outside. And then after a heavy knock, the door to the booth flung open. Mentalo!
Rintaro!
Yeah. Mentalo! The professor opened his arms as wide as he came in, or wide as he came inside. He grabbed my hand and began to wave it around. I didn't realize he was this friendly. Seemed to think he was giving me a handshake, but it felt like I was being worked over by a pro wrestler.
Hey boy, what's up? I'm fine, thank you. And you?
岡部さん、ひどい英語ですね。
Leave him alone!
黙れクリスティーナ。
クリスティーナ？
It slipped out. It slipped out. Oh no, I was so focused on a professor that I used my own nickname for her.
なんでもない。気にしないでくれ。
気になります。なんで私がクリスティーナなんですか？
だからなんでもないというのに。
なんでもない割には動揺してますよね。
しつこいぞクリスティン。クリス。
Curse you about hobo seemed lost in thought.
クリスティーナって呼んでいたのね。
Oh
君もそこ
wow.
に食いつくな。
Oh man. I didn't want any more questions about this. Since the professor was here, I decided to ask more about how Amadeus' memory is short. Oh, excuse me.
教授、アマデウスの記憶を外部から改ざんすることは可能なんですか？
But the professor wasn't listening to my question. Seemed to be frankly searching his pockets for something. When I think of it, I didn't see that translator device on his ear. He must have been looking for it, which meant odds were good he didn't even hear my question.
私の記憶の改ざんですか？理論上は可能です。
Kurisu herself answered in the professor's
例え
place.
ば、私が自分の名前をクリスティーナであると思い込み、そう仕向けることもできるでしょう。
I'm not gonna lie, it feels like
普通のデータと違い、記憶データはとても複雑です。
yeah, it feels like the game's music is really it's a lot louder than the voices. I gotta turn them up. Yeah, straight up. There you go. That should be good.
今のところ改ざんに成功した例はないと認識しています。仮に改ざんに成功した場合でも、私がそれに気づいて自分で修復してしまうでしょう。私は私以外アクセス不可の領域にログを取っていますから。つまり秘密の日記ですね。その日記と現在の記憶との間に不自然な齟齬があれば、私は高い確率で疑問を抱きます。さらに言えば、私の記憶データは定期的にバックアップされています。自己修復が不能なほどに改ざんされたとしても復旧することが可能なんですよ。最終バックアップから改ざんされた時点までの記憶はなくなってしまいますが。
そっか。
Suka. Regardless of the topic of discussion, it felt strange. What Maho had said before, she loaded Kurisu was true. Starting to feel like I was chatting with the real Kurisu. The way she wouldn't let you get in a word or let you get a word in edgewise. Once she started talking about science is exactly the real Kurisu.
しかし興味深いな。
I turned towards Kurisu and spoke.
君は自分のことを機械として客観的に語ることができている。小説や漫画でよくあるパターンだと、自分は機械ではない人間だとか言い出しそうなものだが、
それは全くナンセンスですね。人間そのものが自分をハードウェアとソフトウェアの組み合わせとして語るじゃありませんか。医学とか心理学とかそういう名においてね。それとどこが違うんです？
なるほど。
さすがへりくつなら誰にも負けないわね、この子。
When she heard this, Karasu turned toward Maho, her CGI is big and round, though it was really just a camera sensor moving.
ねえ先輩、余計なお世話かもしれませんけど、口が悪いのを少し直した方がいいですよ。せっかく春が来そうなのに嫌われたらどうするんです？
だからその話に戻るのはやめなさい。
けど私にとっては今一番興味があります。
一番どうでもいいことでしょ、そんなの。
これが人生最後のチャンスだったらどうするんですか？
あなたこそその口を改めなさい。
Dr. Muscular was slapping his hands together and laughing. Had to chuckle a little too. Afterward, the three of us, including the professor, talked to Kurisu, discussing technical subjects and making small talk. Next thing I knew, it had been almost an hour. I actually felt a little sad when Maho told me that it was time to stop. In just a single hour, the strangeness I felt about Amadeus had disappeared, and I felt like I was really talking to Kurisu. All I ever wanted was a black Grand National. Dr. Lessner stopped me before I left.
テストをやる気はあるかな？
I tilted my head when I heard the professor speak through the translator.
エムテウスにはタイヤ散歩が少なくてね、うちの研究室の子たちを総動員してはいるのだけれどね。
とはいえアマデウスはまだ研究段階だし、誰彼構わず接触させるわけにもいかないわ。
そこでクリスの友人だったレインターロにぜひとも協力してほしいんだ。
I remember they mentioned something about being a tester at the party. So this is what they were talking about.
私と教授はしばらく日本に滞在する予定なの。だからテスターをお願いするのはその間ということになるわね。あなたにしてもらいたいのはとにかくクリスと対話を重ねてもらうこと。具体的なノルマのようなものは特にないわ。気が向いたら話をするぐらいでいい。ただ月に2回程度は私と教授にテスト経過の報告をしてほしいの。
それと申し訳ないけれど報酬は出せないんだ。そこも含めて考えてみてほしい。
俺は
亡くした友人をそっくりそのまま再現した AI と話をさせる。それは君にとってとても残酷なことだとは理解しているつもりだよ。乗り気でないのなら断ってくれていいからね。
I remember what it had felt like to talk to Kurisu. When the monitor was just about to turn off, is what Kurisu had said. Let's talk again sometime. Okabe Rentaro. That's what I hoped for when I came here, wasn't it?
やります。やらせてください。
There you go, the flashback's over. I thought I was ready when I accepted the job, but I had never expected this.
はい。
もしもし。
マキセですけど。
Okay. So what? Kurisu was displayed on the screen. Yes, it was Amadeus. The app the professor had given me allowed me to access the servers at Victor Contra University from anywhere, 24 hours a day. That's so crazy. Imagine getting a call from the AI, bro. And a better link goes to AI.
岡部さんからクリスの方へ呼びかけることができるのはもちろんだけれど。
Maho, get off of my screen. There you go. App, short for application software. Any software that can be used by downloading it to your OS. If you have a phone, you know what this is. And if you don't, you know what this is.
クリスの方からあなたに呼びかけてくることもあるから、その時はうまく対応して。
This I had it predicted. It's so funny, bro. I just can't. I'm not coming in content with the AI. Heck no, bro. Hold on. I gotta talk to the AI. Oh man, I never thought she would call me, or that her face would be displayed on the screen.
それともクリスティーナですけどって自己紹介した方が良かったですか？
Why are you so aggressive? She looked really mad. I could guess why. I had gotten 8 calls from Kurisu and I had ignored all of them.
事情はレスキネン教授や先輩から聞いています。だから最初に一言こちらから挨拶しようと思っていたんですが、まさか8回もイルスを使われるとは思いませんでした。なんで黙ってるんですか？
Oh man. Hold on, give me 1 second. I gotta turn up the AC in my room. Talking to a realistic girl on my smartphone with so many people around. It's pretty embarrassing.
ま、話す気がないならそれはそれでいいんですが。なんなのよ。せっかくいつも以上に人と話せるチャンスだと思ってたのに。バカみたいじゃない。たく。
She really is like Kurisu.
いずれにせよ、テスト中は私はあなたといつでもつながっていますから。気が向いたらどうぞ連絡してきてください。こっちも忙しいので、あなたの連絡にいつも出れるかどうかわかりませんけど。
That's cap. That's cap. Man, what is this? More than a strange. Goodness, bro, I can't talk. More than that strangely polite, friendly courtesy from yesterday. Angry. Stubborn. More curious than anyone. The way she seemed to be constantly challenging you.
それではお邪魔しました。
待て. I realized that this was really Makise Kurisu. That was the girl I spent those 3 weeks with, lab member 004. My assistant, Christina, aka Makise Kurisu. Her movements were a little more jerky than I'd seen on a computer in Dr. Luskina's lab, but evidently that was because of the smartphone. This alone was enough to make me feel like my heart was being squeezed dry. I stood still, holding my smartphone tight.
じゃなかった。オカリン、どうしたにゃ？
ああ、今行く。
I thought to myself as I ran to catch up with the others. Maybe Dr. Luskina was right, and this test would be a very cruel thing for me. But even so, in my mind I was already starting to think about what I would talk about with Kurisu. So this is interesting, right? This is interesting. So, in this game, we actually have character perspectives. We don't just follow Okabe the whole time. We get to see other characters' point of views throughout the story. And this plays a big role in it because I have feelings about this, but I'll talk about those way later. Maho Hiyaja was remembering. She was remembering the last night she'd spoken to Kurisu, Makise Kurisu in person. But also this. It's kind of like Witch on a Holy Night. It's pretty cool. Oh, March 28th, 2010. Didn't see what time it was.
こんな大事な時期になんで私が。
That night, Kurisu was whispering to herself a lot. Mitochondria University's Brain Science Institute. Maho and Kurusu worked in the same room at that lab. Thus, Maho was forced to hear Kurusu's angry mumblings whether she wanted to or not. A little was fine, but she'd been acting like this all day, and it was keeping Maho from concentrating. She finally snapped and turned away from the paper she was writing.
ねえ、ちょっとクリス？
Hi hi. English is the language most commonly used at Victor Conjure University. When the other staff and professors were around, she'd always use English. But when it was just her and Kurusu, Maho would often speak in Japanese. Really
いい
cool.
加減にしてくれないかしら。え？ああ、何がです？
Kurusu stopped messing with her luggage and turned around.
うるさくて集中できないのよ。この論文、明日までに教授に提出しないといけないんだけど。
もしかして私独り言言ってました？
騒音郊外で訴えてあげようかしら。
すみません。
Kurusu apologized and started to scratch the back of her head. Nanda. Maho decided to calm down by standing up and going to the shelf where the research notes were kept. There were several books she needed for her paper. Oh, got a message. Oh, but they were all on the top shelf. There you go. There you go. This must be someone's idea of a prank, she said, as she stared up at the heavy book. She decided to try and reach for it, but no matter how she stood on her toes, she came nowhere near close. Her tiny little arms seemed to her like dead branches waving in the wind. She bit her lip. After she skipped grades to go to college, and then come to work at this lab, she'd have more chances than ever before to hate her small stature. Whenever she walked outside after dark, the cops would stop her. Even with her ID, she couldn't get into bars. And buying medicine and alcohol at drugstores was a pain. The most humiliating part was that no matter where she went, everyone thought she was in middle school. Nobody believed her when she said she was 20. 21 now. Everything in America was just too big.
撮りましょうか？
Isn't that crazy? How Maho, don't know how tall she is. I gotta look it up on the wiki, but like she's short. She's below like 5 foot for sure. A little shorter than Ferris, a little, but like it's weird because like Ferris and her aren't that far apart in height. Actually, let me look this up because I remember that. I remember. Oh, sorry. Just wanted to look this up. Okay, Steins Gate Wiki. Then we go to characters. Give me all them characters, boy. Ferris. How tall are you? She is 4'8". Really short. Really short. And then you have, well, that's rude. I shouldn't emphasize it that much. She's short. That's just what it is. Maho, on the other hand, is 4'7". See? She's 1 centimeter short. And the thing with Maho is like, they emphasize it so much in this game, but with Steins Gate Original, Ferris is only a centimeter taller than her. As a matter of fact, why don't they say that about Ferris? Like, granted, I can see why they wouldn't mistake her as a child, because like, or as a middle schooler, because, you know, she's a, what's it called? She's a maid. It makes sense that people wouldn't think, oh, that's a child in the maid industry. That's weird. But like with Maho, it's like, okay, I can kind of see it, but it's also like height-wise, that feels like a stretch. Like, that generally feels like a stretch to be like, oh yeah, Maho's a kid because she's short. No, it's because, like, it feels like hypocrisy, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, it's a tangent, Kurisu noticed the trouble Maho was having and came over, but Maho was stubborn, excuse me, and decided to pretend nothing was wrong.
大丈夫よ。別に困ってなんかいないもの。
困ってるじゃないですか。
困ってません。
そうですか。
そうです。
でも私も借りていきたい本があるので。
Kurisu easily reached up to the highest shelf and grabbed the book Maho wanted.
背が高い人はいいわね。
She's not.
いえ、私もそれほど高い方では。
About to say, yeah. Kurisu covered her mouth when she realized she said something she shouldn't have.
ありがとう。助かったわ。日本で何か必要なものがあったら言ってね。送ってあげるから。
Oh, wow.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Kurisu handed over the book as she spoke, and then suddenly her eyes went wide and began to sparkle.
ねえ先輩、今の話ですけど。
今の話ってどの話？
独り言ですよ。
え？おー。
It was like Kurisu had come up with a new idea. This was a regular occurrence for Kurisu, and Maho was used to it.
それって自我の証明の一つになるんじゃないでしょうか。
アマデウスの？
はい。
確かにあの子がいきなり独り言を言い出したらびっくりするけれど。
No matter how advanced an AI was, it wouldn't talk to itself unless you programmed it to do that, and there was no need, or even a point to a feature like that. If an AI started talking to itself, that might be a good indication that there was a self to talk to. But Maho hesitated to agree with her.
ここではめったなことを口にするものではないわ。魂は神が人間に与えたもうたものである。そう考える人たちが多いことを忘れないで。
Yep, Christianity.
そうでしたね。
Kurisu's expression dimmed. Kurisu and Maho were both treated as heretics in the lab, especially since they were Japanese and a woman. Wow. And Kurisu was simply too talented. Nobody ever actually did anything, but a lot of older scientists were definitely avoiding her. Dr. Leskinen was the chief scientist, and the fact that he liked the two of them was all that let them do their research in peace. There you go. If the other scientists heard what Kurisu had just said, who knows what they'd do. Maho patted Kurisu on the shoulder.
ま、 しばらく日本でリフレッシュしてくることね。
それが納得いきません。
どうして？向こうの生活だって楽しいと思うけれど。
留学するなら大学院ですよ。なんで高校なんですか？
仕方ないでしょ。日本では年齢的にあなたはまだ高校生
Hell nah, brother. What the heck?
なんだから。
There you go. Mi bombo. Backlog. Backlog. Okay, that's what she said.
教授の思いやりは素直に受けておきなさいな。
Maho remembered what Dr. Leskinen had said. Kurisu has a fragile personality. All the bickering in the lab is putting her under a lot of stress, and she's at her limit. It might ruin her as a researcher. That's what the professor had said. He was really worried about her.
それにもともと7月になれば日本に行かなくちゃいけなかったんだからちょうどいいじゃない。
はい、実はそれも憂鬱で。
秋葉原テクノフォーラムだったかしら。
公演なんて慣れてないし、何をどうしていいのか。
サイエンス誌に論文が載った以上これからもどんどん増えるわよ。練習しておかないとね。
She really was an older, what's it called? An older mentor for her. Kurisu whispered to herself. Maho didn't like being around lots of other people either, so she knew how Kurisu felt. But there were a lot of scientists who wanted to be published in a major journal, then go on to give public lectures. And she was beaten out of many of them to win that honor. People were jealous. She needed to fulfill her responsibilities, even if it's just to shut them up. Maybe I'm not that much better though. Hold on, I want to see if I can force skip mode, select, enter, scroll, text, versus, delete. Okay, so that's what the button is. There you go, okay. There you go, perfect. I can just press that button instead of using the mouse. Maho silently laughed a little and hated herself for doing it. Maybe I'm just as jealous as they are. That feeling, which is a little like fear, was something that she always felt. The girl in front of her was just that different from Maho. Someone she could never reach, no matter how hard she tried. Someone who surpassed everything she'd ever done almost instantly.
Senpai?
Maho? Kurisu was peering into her face. Confused, Maho felt flustered.
日本でお父さんには会うの？
She heard that Kurisu's parents weren't divorced, but that they were separated. Her mom was still in America and her dad was in Japan. After Maho said it, she wondered if that was too personal a question. But Kurisu smiled a little.
実は父から招待状が届いたんですよ。
へえ。
夏頃新しい理論の発表会をするそうです。それを見に行こうかと思ってます。
新しい理論って？
Kurisu's smile changed into a small expression of consternation.
まだ詳しく聞いてないんですよね。相対性理論に関することらしいんですけど。
Back to it. Alright, the theory of relativity. The term theory of relativity refers to two theories published by Einstein. The special theory, published in 1905, and the general theory, in 1916. These are the sources of the famous equation E equals mc squared. Special relativity makes I think that's a typo. That doesn't make sense. Special relativity makes clear. Yeah, that does make sense. No. Special relativity clears up the following. Matter cannot exceed the speed of light. The closer you get to the speed of light, the slower time gets. If you reach the speed of light, time stops. The closer you get to the speed of light, the more your length decreases. If you reach the speed of light, your length becomes zero. The closer matter gets to the speed of light, the more its mass increases. If it were to reach the speed of light, its mass would become infinite. General relativity adds the following. Time slows down in the presence of a strong gravity field. Space compresses in the presence of a strong gravity field. Mass increases in the presence of a strong gravity field. My girl looked like Albert Einstein. Maho felt like she was hiding something, but didn't question her anymore.
とにかく気をつけて行ってくることね。お土産期待しているから。
何がいいですか？
そうね。せっかく秋葉原に行くのだから何か珍しいものがいいわ。秋葉原詳しいのよね。
No.
なんでです？
休憩時間によくそういうサイト見てるじゃない。
まさかアマデウスが喋ったんですか？
あの子はそんなことしないわ。あなた、私が後ろにいるのに動画に夢中になってて気づかないことがあるわよ。
まさかバレていたなんて自分のうかつさが憎い。
Karis actually seemed upset for once, so he surprised Maho.
先輩、お願いです。どうか他の人たちには内密に。
別に隠すことはないと思うけれど。
My girl looked like Albert Einstein. The idea of sharing a secret with Kurisu made Maho happy. So it's funny, like, in a way, she's the comedic relief for her lab, but only for Maho, while Okabe was for his lab, you know? But you can obviously tell, like, even though it was a smaller, cheap lab, well, it wasn't even a lab, it was an apartment, but still, how at home she felt. Because even though she was getting teased by Okabe all the time, she cared for everybody there. It was unconventional, but it was a home. Meanwhile, here it's so cold and big and spacious. It's like you feel so alone, and so they made a kinship together.
わかった。言わないでおくわ。
助かります。
Arigatou gozaimashita. Kurisu seemed genuinely relieved. Maho continued.
ねえ。あなたが日本から戻ってきたら、アマデウスが独り言をつぶやけるかどうか、二人で検証してみましょう。
はい。
Kurisu had a very happy look on her face. It was the face of a born scientist who loved to explore the unknown more than anything in the world. Her smile was as innocent as that of a child who'd just been given a new toy. It was very beautiful. And it was one of the reasons that Maho liked the younger researcher quite a bit. But the promise that the two of them made would never be fulfilled. In fact, they would never even meet again. It felt like she was thinking about Kurisu more and more since she'd come to Japan. Maho didn't know if it was because she was in Japan or because she was talking with Amadeus, Kurisu, more often. Or maybe it was because she met the young man named Okabe Rentaro.
私の知らないクリスを知っている人か。
Thinking back, the first date they met, she broken down and cried right in front of him. It was something she didn't really want to remember. She chased the memories away out of embarrassment.
さては岡部さんのことを考えていましたね。
Wow, she got it right on the money. She snapped her head toward the PC monitor. I'll kill you. Maho was in the middle of a conversation with Kurisu.
そうね。
She shrugged her shoulders and tried to ignore Kurisu's mischievous smile.
不思議だと思わない？レスキネン教授が 岡部さんのことをあそこまで買っているなんて。二度しか会ったことのない相手なのに、あなたのアクセス権も渡してしまったし。
He loved that
あそこ
boy.
まで
He
信用していい
loved.
のかしら。
You did
誠実な人でした
it.
が
そう
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa,
向
whoa,
上心があるのかないのか。
whoa, 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 whoa.
誠実そうな人でしたが
少しつかみどころ
There you go.
がない人だったわ。
好きなんですか？
あなたね。
Maho brought her face close to the monitor and glared. Oh man, but Kurisu seemed unconcerned.
別に取り繕う必要はないでしょ。昨日は本人の目の前だったから仕方ないにしても、今は私たち二人きりですし。
Kurisu may not have looked like someone who would, but she really enjoyed the sort of gossip. Maybe girl talk was the right word. My girl looked like Albert Einstein. Maho sighed and sat back in her chair. The creaking sound echoed throughout the empty office.
本当にそんな感情はないわ。岡部さんがどんな人なのかさえまだよく分かっていないのだから。
なるほど。
Oh, but you will.
まあそうでしょうね。
Oh, but you will. Kurisu let the matter drop. This bothered Maho a little.
ただ気になるのは。
何です？
いえ、なんでもないわ。
You know, cap my rap. Maho had been spending a lot of time thinking about something since yesterday, to the point where she even put off her research. What kind of relationship was there between Kurisu and Okabe? What was Kurisu feeling in the days before she died? She would have liked to ask Okabe if she could.
先輩、私のオリジナルと岡部さんは知り合いだったの？
Maho shivered. It was as if Kurisu had been reading her mind.
どうして分かったの？
Oh,
岡部さんの話や先輩の反応などを聞いて判断しました。状況証拠を積み上げただけですが、証明しましょうか？
別にいいわ。あなたのことだから反証の余地もないでしょ。
My girl looked like Albert Einstein. The way they used the words like proof in normal conversation showed that both Maho and Kurisu were scientists at heart.
相手だけが一方的に私との記憶を持っているのでは、対話に齟齬が出てしまう可能性が高いです。
彼と話していく上でどうするのかはあなたに任せる。岡部さんの方から切り出してくるかもしれないし、なんならあなたから聞いてみてもいいわ。
Maho still didn't know if Okabe would even access Amadeus at all. They weren't forcing him to.
知らないふりをするというのは嘘をついているのと同じことになりますよね。興味深いデータが取れそうな気がします。
Yes, it was interesting. But that was her opinion, as a researcher working on Amadeus. How would Okabe Rentaro feel about it? Wouldn't this be rubbing salt in the wounds in his heart? Maho realized she was getting much too sentimental.
やっぱり日本に来たせいなのかもしれないわね。
It had been a week since she arrived. The first thing she'd planned to do was offer flowers. But she still couldn't bring herself to visit the Akihabara radio building, the place where Kurisu had died. My girl looked like Albert Einstein. No, tips. Alright, Akihabara radio building. An 80-story commercial building in the front of Akihabara station. It contains lots of computer and hobby shops. On the 7th floor, there's a plate reading the birthplace of personal computing. The sun was setting earlier, now that December had arrived. Katsumi Nakase was surprised by how quickly it had gotten dark while she was out rummaging through the cosplay shops. The wheeled suitcase on the ground next to her felt heavy. She'd done her best to jam everything she brought today inside, and it was bursting at the seams. Still, spending a whole day shopping with her cosplay friends is a lot of fun. She felt tired, but it was a good tired. Her footsteps were light as she walked back to the station.
ふぶきちゃん、スキップしちゃいそうだね。あ、わかる？だって今日はいっぱい買い物できて超楽しかったもん。満足満足。ふぶきちゃんのおかげでまゆしーも楽しくお買い物できたよ。付き合ってくれてありがとう。
So, it's a new character. If you remember, they actually do mention Fubuki in Steins Gate Original. It's just that now we actually get to see who she is, which, again, I have opinions about, but we'll continue.
まゆしーのためならお茶の子さいさいだって。
No, hold on. Fubuki tried to grab her friend, Mayuri Shina, for a hug. Mayuri dodged out of the way. Mayuri may have looked like an airhead, but she was actually quite athletic. Fubuki, by the way, was Katsumi Nakase's cosplay name. See? There you go. Katsumi was in her second year of high school. She and Mayuri were the same age, but were total opposites. Katsumi was boyish and athletic, and when she cosplayed as a male character, she attracted more female comico than male ones. Which, by the way, if you want to think of her or anything, think of her as Chie. Even down to like the appearance. It's crazy. Anyways, comico. Oh, cosplay too. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Those who appear en masse at cosplay and anime events and use expensive SLR cameras to take pictures of scantily clad cosplayers. The so-called low anglers, men who take upskirt pictures of cosplayers in Akihabara and at Kobima, are not considered true comico. A true comico must be a gentleman at all times. Cosplay, short for costume play. The act of dressing up in a costume. In Japan, cosplayer is referred to dressing up as a character from an anime or manga. The people who cosplay are called cosplayers, or sometimes just layers. Most cosplay costumes are handmade. So, in this one scene alone, we have 3 new characters. Oh man, there's a lot to talk about, but I can't talk about them yet because that's spoilers. But these characters are really important. The 4 friends had gone to the cosplay shops along Yugawa's... Yugawaya, Maiden's Road, and Tokyo Hands in Ikebukuro. Then moved to Akihabara, and visited several more. This is all part of their preparations for, oh goodness, Winter Komima. Kaide. Didn't think her voice was that high pitched. Kaide sounded a little worried. Her real name was Kaide Kurishima, and she used her real name as her cosplay. Wow. She used her real name as her cosplay pseudonym. She was 3 years older than Katsumi and in college. She is 20 years old. Kaide. Mwah. I love her design. Kaide was extremely feminine, and her measurements were just like the ones magazine models claim to have. But she was very shy. People had tried many times to persuade her to enter the pageant at her college, but she always refused, saying normal events are kind of scary. But even so, cosplaying at Komima with the rest of them was something she looked forward to. Yuki. Wow, Yuki. Yuki proposed. She had very noble, elegant features, but the rest of her was easygoing and laid back. Though Katsumi was a fellow girl, she still thought Amayuki was beautiful. Even her light blue, penetrating eyes lacked the arrogance that beautiful women usually possessed. They were filled with instead a friendly light. They were filled instead with a friendly light. Her name was Yuki Amane. See? Yuki Amane. Wow, how old is Yuki actually? I didn't know she was the oldest out of all of them. Yuki. Get this bum 4 degrees Celsius out of my face. I'ma kill you. Alright, Yuki Amane. How old? 21. Huh. 21. Wow. Oh yeah, that's kind of crazy. She's Maho's age. Wow, wow, look at that. Who is this for? Maho. Yeah, no, Yuki's the oldest character so far that we've met besides like Leskinen. She's even older than Maho. Like, that's crazy. This is insane tech, fellas. Alright. She was a senior at Meiji University and in the same club as Kaine. She was the oldest out of the 4. She once tried to give up cosplay and focus on job hunting. After just 6 months, she'd given up on work and gone back to costuming. Hell no. She a bum. Let's see. Tips. Alright. Oh wow, that. Start with Komima. Komima, a comic giga market, an otaku festival held every year in August and December. Sorry about that. August and December at Tokyo Big Sight. Yugawaya, fictional, a large specialty store founded over 60 years ago that sells craft and hobby supplies, fabric and trinkets. There are over 60 of them, mostly in Eastern Japan, but also all around the country. I was gonna look up, but I don't remember. Oh, the stream, of course. It's almost as if I'm streaming. It's almost as if I'm streaming. I'm showing you how great I am. Oh man, that video be frying me, bro. I'm gonna show you how great I am. Yeah. Alright, the nickname of a street near the east exit of Ikebukuro Station has many doujinshi and anime merchandise stores for female-oriented anime and is known as a mecca for female otaku. Tokyo Hands. This is a really long one. Good lord. Oh my gosh. An eclair. There you go. Subbing on for an hour and 14. Yeah, okay. Alright, anyways, oh man. Okay. A home improvement chain based out of Tokyo, but unlike most such stores which have large buildings outside of the city centers, Tokyo Hands has many department store style buildings located around major train stations. Tokyo Hands stores also carry a wide variety of products from professional grade tools and materials to fishing and variety goods. Job hunting when an unemployed person is seeking employment, often used to refer to college kids looking for their first real career-oriented job. I haven't found my first career-oriented job, but I am employed, so I haven't been job hunting necessarily. I just found a job. By the way, they drew her nails. Weird, because I don't think any other character has that. Since then, she'd been spending more time with Katsumi and the others.
そんなお手伝い
Everyone smiled at her, but Mayuri quickly shook her head.
今日だって材料代を半分以上も肩代わりしてもらっちゃったでしょ。マユシーはそれだけで本当に嬉しかったから。私たちの衣装を作ってくれるんだから出さない方が申し訳ないよ。それに私、まゆりちゃんみたいに素敵な衣装を自分でも作ってみたいなってずっと思ってたの。うんうん、まゆしーの衣装ってクオリティ高いもんね。ほんと感謝してるんだからね。まゆりちゃん、ぜひ手伝わせてほしいな。じゃあみんなで作ろう。
Katsumi knew that it made Mayuri really happy when someone praised her cosplay outfits.
ああ、でもそれとは別にね、マユシーはみんなにお願いしたいことがあったのです。お願い？実は
You know, it's interesting, right? So like, not even as like, oh, I know this information because I've seen this game before, but like, as returning to this game, why are we following her? Why are we following Fubuki in this scene and not Mayuri, of all things? Because it's not like the narrator's over here like, oh, Mayuri thought this, and this, because Mayuri's probably not thinking anything. But then again, like, what's it called? Mayuri does think. But why are we with Fubuki? I still don't... I know her importance to the story, but it's also like, for this scene, wouldn't Mayuri have been serviceable? Because then we would have got to see Fubuki, because we already see Mayuri's new what's it called, outfit. So why would we need to be in Fubuki's position for this scene? It's just weird, but you know, I'm not complaining. Mayuri told him about an event that had quickly become a mainstay of the Japanese holiday year. Christmas!
パーティーを開くから、ゆきさんも楓さんもふぶきちゃんもぜひ来てほしいなって。クリスマスパーティーか。うん、どうかな。私行きたい行きたい行きたい。
I'll kill you. Katsumi's only plan for Christmas Eve was dinner with her family, so she raised her hand instantly. None of her friends at school wanted to do anything that night. She'd been a little put out about that, since it meant they all had boyfriends.
私も大丈夫だよ。
Kaede also nodded, but Yuki seemed a little hesitant.
私はどうしようかな。もしかして戦略があるの？そりゃユキさんほどの美貌の持ち主ならイブのデートに誘ってくる男子は山ほどいるでしょう。そんなことないよ。そうなの？だったら私がほっときません。ふぶきちゃんとクリスマスにデートできるなら他のどんな予定よりも優先しちゃう。
She's lying.
ユキさんラボー。ふぶきちゃんはまゆりちゃん一筋じゃなかったの？まゆしーだって楓ちゃんだって大好きだぜ。
Oh, that's cute. Katsumi quickly jumped over to Kaede and gave her a big hug. Kaede was soft and smelled good, and enduring this sort of sexual harassment was nothing new. Huh? What? Huh? Alright. Okay.
あ、それでね、ゆきさん、今度まゆしーに美味しいキッシュの作り方を教えてくれないかな。
Yuki was an excellent chef and had been teaching Mayuri a lot lately. Both Katsumi and Kaede would also occasionally participate in what they called Yuki and Mane's cooking lessons.
いいよ。何のキッシュがいい？ね、まゆしーはほうれん草とマッシュルームがいいな。ハムとトマトと ベーコンも美味しいよ。はあ、想像しただけでよだれがうわあ、そっか、迷っちゃうのです。それじゃあ両方教えてあげる。本当そうだよね。いろんな味があった方がみんなも喜ぶもんね。もしかしてクリスマスパーティー用に？うん、そうなのです。あと1ヶ月もないけど、それまでにマスターしたいなって。じゃあ特訓だね。いつにする？明日は？うん、マユシーは大丈夫。
Katsumi went over her schedule in her head.
あー、明日か。私、友達と約束が。私はバイト。
Katsumi really wanted to go, so she was pretty disappointed. She would love the chance to eat one of Yuki's good quiches. As she thought about the quiche, her stomach began to rumble. It was about time for dinner. Yuki and Mayuri worked out the time and place for their meetup.
場所は私の下宿先だとちょっと遠いから。ラボはどうかな？うん、いいよ。頑張って作り方覚えるぞ。楽しいパーティーになるといいね。うん。マユシ、サンタさんの衣装を作るからみんな着てくれる？込み物分の他にさらに作るんだ。まゆりちゃん、気合入ってるね。まゆしーはやる気満々だよ。ふむ。
Mayuri posed like she was cheering.
サンタ服ならかわいいミニスカートのやつがいいな。白のニーソに赤いブーツとか合わせて。楓ちゃんはいいけど、私そういうの似合うかな。
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm kind of bored. This scene isn't really doing it for me. It's not moving me.
本当は可愛い服の方が好きなくせに。
Katsumi spoke to Mayuri and Yuki without any confidence in her voice. It's hard to, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to be invested in a scene without Okabe in it. It sounds crazy, but he is the main character for a reason. But then again, like, I don't want it to come off like I haven't seen this game before, so I know why this scene is here, but it's also like, man, I wish it was a little shorter. There was nothing Katsumi could say. She was right. It bothered Katsumi a lot that she looked like a boy, and she knew that sort of clothing didn't look right on her. Still, at heart, she was a young girl and she wanted to wear cute clothes. But you know something wrong with that.
まゆし、ふぶきちゃんに似合うのちゃんと作るから。おお、さすが俺の嫁。結婚して。ふぶきちゃん、調子いいんだから。ダルくんみたいなこと言っちゃダメだよ。
Yeah, don't. It's
あ
weird.
の変態紳士さんと一緒にされるなんてショックかも。
Now hold on. Ease off of my
ち
mans,
なみ
alright?
にまゆりちゃんも一緒に着るんだよ、ね。
You're right, but still.
サンタさんの衣装。じゃなくて、可愛いんだからもっとコスしようよ。
Look at Yuki taking authority.
マユシーは作るの専門だから。意義あり。
Iggy
ないですもう、ふぶきちゃんまで。それに岡部さんもまゆりちゃんの素敵な姿見たいんじゃないかな。
Oh, they know about Okabe. They know about Okabe. Oh no. Mayuri made a weird noise as soon as she heard that name.
オカリンさん？ああ、まゆしーの彼氏ね。
No. Oh no, Kame, you look so depressed. Oh no, he looks so sad, bro. There's no light in his eyes. Oh, there's no light in his eyes at all. Oh, Kame. Katsumi had met him many times. He was tall, but always looked pale and thin. Whenever he laughed, he seemed kind of sad. But from what Mayuri said, until just half a year ago, he'd been a totally different person. She said he was haughty and arrogant, but also kind and a great leader. Mayuri was known to let her emotions influence her judgment, so Kasumi didn't know how much of that description was accurate. Very accurate, actually. Very, very accurate. Mayuri started to freak out even more after hearing the word boyfriend.
あのね、ふぶきちゃん。オカリンとマユシーはそういうのじゃないよ。またまた。
Wow. Yuki and Kaede weren't buying it either. Honestly, Ocarina and Mayuri seemed more like an old wedded couple that had been together for years than a boyfriend and girlfriend. They don't know. They don't know, unfortunately.
だってオカリンには他に好きな人がいるのです。
Mayuri does know, though. Yep. Mayuri sounded totally unconcerned, which made Katsumi even more surprised.
そうなの？
Yeah, I was to say, don't try to go speaking on my mans. Who could have guessed? Who could have guessed? I could have guessed. It was Yuki, the eldest, who spoke first.
ごめんね。なんか余計なこと言っちゃった。マユシーとオカリンは幼なじみで仲良しさんっていうだけだから大丈夫だよ。
Yes, that's what's great about Mayuri, is that no matter what timeline or world she's in, she loves Okabe, and that could be platonic or romantic, and she'll be perfectly fine. Like, we saw the ending with her and him becoming boyfriend and girlfriend, and it's like, that made her really happy, but it's not like that changes her relationship with Okabe. There's still really good, like, they have that connection. That connection that can't be changed by a title. And it's a really good, like, dichotomy that they have. And it persists in this game as well. That, like, Okabe and Mayuri need each other. Whether it's friends or relationship, they need each other. And we saw that especially in the last game. And now we're going to see a different side of it in this game.
そう。
Mayuri's smile seemed very sad to Katsumi. She felt a sudden impulse to give her schoolmate a hug.
それよりそれより。
But she still is a girl at the end of the day, a young high school girl. So, can't really hide those repressed feelings of love forever. It's hard, but look at Mayuri being tough. Mayuri smiled and walked over to Yuki as if to blow away the awkwardness.
ねえ、ユキさんは？私？さっきの話。やっぱりクリスマスは彼氏さんと過ごすのかなーって。本当にいないってば。そう？みんな誤解してるよ。私そんなにモテないし、ここだけの話、年齢と彼氏いない歴が一緒だもの。
First Mayuri, then Yuki. Katsumi was stunned.
そうなんですか？そこまで驚かれるなんて。じゃあ、ユキさん、
Mayuri started to fidget.
ダルくんなんてどうかな？星田さん？また何を言い出すの、マユシ。
Oh my god.
変態紳士なんだよ。
Yeah, putting up Daru is not good goons, bro. That's insane. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Putting up Daru is not good goons, bro. It's not good goons. Oh my goodness.
ユキさんがどこかにかけられちゃう。
Now, hold on, he's on a. He's on a. I don't want people to think that he's a sexual deviant. He's not gonna sexually harass people. He's just a pervert. Oh, actually, I guess those two go hand in hand. Anyways, the man that Katsubi and Kaide were insulting was Itaru Hishida, a college student and a member of Mayuri's club. Don't you tell me I know who he is. I know who he is. He was a hardcore otaku, one of the hybrid types, who said he enjoyed both 2D and 3-dimensional women. Excuse me, and 3D women. And like Kasumi said, he was a perverted gentleman. He is. He still is. Look at him. That's a ew. Yuck. He would say perverse things all day without the slightest shame. Whenever you told him he was a pervert, he would say, "No, I'm a perverted gentleman." He was a dangerous guy. Unfortunately. But Yuki didn't seem bothered. She actually looked a little sad.
橋田さんはいい人だけど、なんていうか、私みたいな子、あんまり好きじゃないんだと思う。
Yo, what's with these reactions? Mayuri was shocked far above and beyond her usual limit. She was so surprised she let go of her suitcase handles and let it fall to the ground. Instead of picking it up, she started talking frantically.
そんなことないよ。ダル君はね、ユキさんに萌えキューンだよ。きっとそうだよ。マユシーが保証します。
Moe cute, huh?
夏コミまで初めて会った時もそんな感じだったでしょ。
Yuki had met Mayuri 4 months ago at Summer Komima. Katsumi and Kaide had come wearing outfits Mayuri made. Kaide found Yuki at the convention hall all by herself and they met up. Afterward, they all gone to a party where she met Mayuri's friend, Itaru Hishida. Katsumi had definitely witnessed Yuki and Itaru having a friendly conversation. Ever since then, Yuki and Mayuri and Daru had become friends, and Yuki had started going to Mayuri's club, the Future Gadget Laboratory. In other words, Yuki and Itaru had been talking ever since Komima. But still, Yuki chuckled sadly and shook her head.
見てればわかるよ。なんとなく避けられてるなって。クリスマスパーティーも、だから私は行かない方がいいんじゃないかなって思って。
Oh no, you're going to that Christmas party. You don't have a choice.
橋田さんはもっとこう妹系の女の子がタイプじゃないのかな。しかもものすごく気が強くてね、お兄ちゃんを尻に敷いちゃうような妹。
She's talking about Suzuha. That's nasty.
鈴葉さんみたいな感じ。
Yeah, that's so nasty.
それは
Yuki, you don't know what you're saying, you bot. For some reason, my ear looked like she was about to cry. She seemed to want to say something, but she couldn't bring herself to. Her lips were quivering.
まゆりちゃん？なんでもないのです。
It certainly didn't look like nothing. Itsumi couldn't bear to watch her anymore, so she gave in to her impulses.
まゆし、そんな顔しないで。まゆしは笑ってる時が一番可愛いんだから。ね、ほら笑わないとくすぐっちゃうぞ。こちょこちょこちょこちょこちょ。
Low, ra, duh. Sorry, this song just. Dang, this song. Wow. Like, it's not lowrider, but it really sounds like it. There you go. Katsumi stuck behind Mayuri and started to tickle under her arms.
観念した？ぶきちゃんは意地悪さんだ。
Katsumi or Mayuri was laughing so hard she was crying, and this time Katsumi succeeded in giving her a hug. Even though they were in public, she started rubbing her cheek against her. Huh. Game, this is I don't like this. I don't know. I don't like it. Just gonna keep it moving.
まゆし好きだよ大好きわあちょっとうぶきちゃんこのまま家に持って帰ってずっとペロペロしたいそれは困るよ
So you're telling me
でも
that
いいから結婚してくれ
this hypocrite talking about like, oh, but he's a perverted gentleman, is out here doing this, and she doesn't see a problem with it? Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary constituents, our world is ruled by hypocrisy. Our world is ruled by hypocrisy. And people like her are flagrant abusers of it. This is despicable and I am disgusted.
無理だってば
Mayuri tried to run away, but Fubuki grabbed her and started to kiss all over her. Yeah, that's sexual harassment. That's like actual sexual harassment.
なんか疲れたそれはまゆしのセリフだよ
But she's not. In the end, Katsumi kept clinging to Mayuri until they reached the station. She felt a lot better, but catching Mayuri when she tried to escape used up a lot of her energy. Either way, now that she was satisfied. She shuddered and turned back towards Mayuri as an image came into her mind from out of nowhere.
ねえまゆしなーに冬コミマ一緒にコスしようねこの前話したよ冬コミマはねまゆしは作る方に専念しますそれでもいいからさとにかく冬コミマもこの4人で絶対一緒に参加しようね当たり前だよそのために今日みんなで買い物したんだよだよねでも約束だようん約束
Was that so close? Mayuri and Yuki split up with them in front of the station, because they were taking a different train.
それじゃあね
Jana!
おやすみなさいまゆりちゃんゆきさんまたねてってる
There you go.
バイ
I
バ
haven't heard that in a
イ
while. Bye bye! Kasumi stood still and watched the two of them until they were out of sight. She felt like she was about to cry and looked up to stop the tears from falling.
ふぶきちゃん
Kaede was sitting next to her, looking worried.
どうしたのごめんなんでもないなんでもなくないよもしかしてまゆりちゃんがどうかしたのお願い話して
You know, after Kaede asked, Katsumi wasn't sure she should tell her. There's no way she'd believe it anyway.
今日のふぶきちゃんいつもよりテンション高かったすごく無理してる感じがしたもの気づいてたんだ気づくよ
Kaede is really sweet. Katsumi and Kaede had known each other for 2 years. Since their ages were so different, they treated each other like an older and younger sister. So at times like this, Kaede was really sharp. Kaede didn't talk much, but that meant she paid a lot of attention to the people around her. Part of it was also that Katsumi wasn't good at hiding things or hiding things. She just couldn't let it hide no matter what. She gave up and decided to say it.
マユシーがね、死んじゃうんだ。え、何？どういうこと？
Katsumi remembered the nightmares and the things she kept seeing no matter how much she didn't want to.
夢を見るんだよ。夢？夏ぐらいからかな。毎日毎日夢の中でマユシーが死んで、その度に私や楓ちゃんは泣いて泣いて、でもどうすることもできなくて、夕べ見た夢なんか最悪だった。私たちの目の前で突然マユシーが倒れて動かなくなっちゃうの。そのマユシーをね、オカリンさんが悲鳴を上げながら抱きしめて大きな声で叫んでて。
So actually, it'll be better for a scene change.
どうしちゃったんだろう私。なんでこんな夢ばっかり。落ち着いて吹雪ちゃん。多分疲れてるせいよ。そうかな。そうなのかな。だってまゆりちゃん今日もすごく元気だったでしょ。
Kade gave Katsumi a gentle shoulder hug.
だから大丈夫。私やだよ。マユシーが死んだりしたら。そんなことありえないわ。絶対に絶対に絶対よ。
Kade's words made Katsumi calm down a little. She was glad to have an older friend like this.
とにかく気のせいよ。そんな悪いこと起きるはずがないでしょ。
Does she know? Her hand squeezed Katsumi's shoulder tightly. Being held like this made Katsumi feel a lot better.
ごめんね、変なこと言って。
But that night she had the nightmares again. There you go. Switching again. Okabe! I miss him so much. Alright, let me save. How long is this stream right now? Like an hour 50, hour and 50 around there. Hour and 43. Because I know Susan's part's gonna be decently long, so it's longer than the first one, then it's shorter than the second one. It fits snug in between the two of them, so that seems fine to me. Yeah, I think I'm fine. I think I'm fine ending it here. Yeah, so I'm gonna save and then we're gonna ball out. So yeah, I already saved, so we should be good. But yeah, no, so I want to thank you all for watching. You know, if you haven't watched the video already, I linked it in the description if you want to watch it. And yeah, until next time, more streams should be coming soon. Not as often as when I was doing Steins Gate, because like that was like the peak time to do it. But you know, I'll try to stream more consistently, because like there was like 2 weeks in between each stream, so that's not good. But yeah, anyways, so hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all